Independent power producers are hitting back at a government review of BC Hydro. Senior bureaucrats are calling for $80 million in cuts at Hydro, including cutting the utility's proposed 50% hike in your rates in half. The review panel is also concerned about how much power BC Hydro keeps in reserve and how much it pays to import energy into the province. Those are the highlights of a scathing report. That has left independent power producers in shock and looking to ground plans that could disconnect them from the grid. CTV's Stephen Andrew has the story.
BC Hydro goes to extraordinary lengths to make sure when you need electricity, it's there. It generates power, sells power when it can get a good price, and it buys power. And under a BC government mandate by 2016, it has to be self-sufficient. Senior government officials reviewed Hydro's books last month, looking for millions in savings. The panel questioned the amount of power the utility keeps in reserve and how much it pays to independent power producers. The NDP blames self-sufficiency policies for Hydro's financial woes.
They're buying power at $124 a megawatt hour from private sources when the market is selling some days at $5 a megawatt hour.
5 weeks later, clean energy producers are taking critics to task.
There has been some misinformation on the integral role that BC's clean energy producers play.
The group acknowledges some contracts with BC Hydro do cost $124 a kilowatt hour, but says others are lower. It believes eliminating self-sufficiency will create challenges if there is a severe drought, and it will have a drastic effect on climate change.
We're going to have to electrify our transportation system, and to do that requires power. And so where is it going to come from? It's not going to come from the status quo.
And the group says a change in policy will also hurt the economy, costing hundreds of jobs, especially in BC's 203 First Nations communities.
There are 125 First Nations that either are owners in partnership or have an agreement with a power company.
And the group says more jobs are on the way. But the NDP isn't convinced.
The notion that IPPs provide us with a benefit is, I think, illusory.
He needs to, look at what's happening in BC and not maybe read from his own script as much as he is.
What we need to do is not rely on politicians like myself to offer judgment on what's a good price for power, or to go to the people who are selling the power and ask them if the price is fair.
The NDP says the best plan, a review of clean power rates by the BC Utilities Commission, something that doesn't happen now. Stephen Andrew, CTV News, Victoria.